Urban Meyer went on the herd and gushed about Bryce Underwood. And I thought what he had to say was really eye-opening for me, but also really telling about what we should expect from Bryce Underwood in 2025. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on the step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football. We talk football year-round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think that Bryce Underwood is Cam Newton-esque? Full stop, right? I say this as Urban goes on, and remember, this is a former Ohio State head coach, national champion, winning coach at both Ohio State and Florida, and immediately starts gushing about the physical presence and demeanor of true freshman Bryce Underwood. He said he watched every single snap of his cut-ups, and he said, look, it's his physical presence that looks like a junior in college, right? That looks like an absolute dude. He says, I go back to, guys like I had, like Percy Harvin at Florida, who remember what kind of freak Percy Harvin was at Florida and in the NFL for that matter. And he's comparing Bryce Underwood to that. What I thought was more interesting is I kept waiting on Jeremiah Smith to be brought up as a comp to this, and he didn't do it. He kept going to Florida players, right? Which we can read into that what we will. But when you have a coach of Meyer's caliber who is telling you, hey, I've seen it now. It's different. It's a guy that is on campus and you're going, okay, we see you're all get off the bus. We hear how you talk about yourself. We hear how others talk about you. But at this level, we still need to see it. And apparently, Meyer saw enough against New Mexico for him to believe that Bryce Underwood is legit. Like, he even went down and said, look, he actually went to another team that wasn't Ohio State and used a comp that I've been using. He reminds me of Trevor Lawrence, right? He has the physical presence and the demeanor on the sideline and the awareness to play this game at a very high level at what is a relatively young age, expecting a guy who had been in a system for 3 years to be the guy. As a matter of fact, I don't think that it is a stretch to say Bryce Underwood is the guy that we all thought that Arch Manning was last year or even the year before, right? Arch Manning still might end up being a Heisman winner. Like, we actually don't know. It's still very, very early. But given that Bryce Underwood has started with a bang and they were able to run and throw the ball against New Mexico, right, which is basically Idaho Vandals reskinned this year with Jason Eck as head coach, you want to see what he can do against a class opponent. And Oklahoma is a class opponent. It's a top 25 opponent. It's the number 18 team in the country. Oklahoma has also got its back against the wall. Brent Venables is being called onto the carpet to answer for 2 6-7 seasons in 3 years. We don't even remember the 10-win season. We treat it like an outlier because Oklahoma's averaged just 7 wins in the Brent Venables era. Meanwhile, we know what kind of a head coach Sharon Moore has turned out to be at Michigan. We also know that he was able to win 8 games, 2 more than Oklahoma, without the presence of a quarterback. So hearing all of this and seeing all of this, I wonder how this is going to go down for the defense at Oklahoma, where, Brent Venables was the defense coordinator for that 2018 Clemson team. And many will tell you, Trevor Lawrence is great, and he was. But without that defense, nobody's talking about 2018 Clemson at all. They were monsters, especially in the second half of the season. That front four is historic. All of those guys got drafted in the first round, man. Like Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, Cleveland Farrell, Austin Bryant. Like, all of those guys were monsters. I don't know that that's the kind of defensive line that anybody has, let alone Oklahoma, in 2025. The question is, will the guy that Urban Meyer saw on tape and what we saw on the television copy show up against Oklahoma on the road? I contend it's different playing at the big house, friendly confines, against an opponent that you're supposed to beat the crap out of than it is to go down to Owen Field where there are going to be 80,000 people who are screaming at the top of their lungs and can't stand you because you're playing against us. And I remember to tell people this everywhere I go. Yes, the NBA champions are in Oklahoma City. They are the Oklahoma City Thunder. All roads to the NBA this year run through Oklahoma City. But the professional team in the state of Oklahoma is the Sooners, which is why you get the win, you hang it up, right? It's one of the reasons that many of us believe that that's our birthright. You know, the phrase in Oklahoma is sooner born, sooner bred. And when I die, I'll be sooner dead. Land thieves, dog. Michigan is coming down to try to take that. And they're trying to take that with a true freshman. I don't care how talented your true freshman is, even if it's Jeremiah Smith last year, you're going to feel some kind of way about that. Now it is, can you stop him? That's it. Can you stop him? What is it that Brent Venables is going to be able to do to have Bryce Underwood not looking poised on the sideline like Urban Meyer saw, but making faces at the defense? Can he confuse him the way that Jim Knowles was able to confuse Dylan Gabriel last year, or the way that Matt Patricia was able to confuse Arch Manning this year? Does Brent Venables still have his fastball? That's the question that we're asking. Because if he has his fastball, you're not going to be able to touch him. Even if you think you got the most talented true freshman in the country. All of this is coming to a head on Saturday night. I can't wait for this game because so many conclusions are going to be drawn. And I've said this in another segment, but I believe that this game could have the same sort of implications that Florida State, Alabama last week did, if it is as lopsided as I think it could be for either team. Now, I've given a score prediction in another segment, and you can check that one out. But it's a race to 28 for me, right? If Oklahoma gets to 28, they're probably going to win the football game. And the closer you get to a high-scoring game, the more it benefits Oklahoma. Michigan doesn't want to play a high-scoring game. They never wanted to play a high-scoring game. That's not their bag. Their bag is to run the ball, play defense, get the ball back, sit on it. That's what Georgia does. That's what they do. That's what they've been great at. That's what Bama did in the early years of Nick Saban's dominance. They all want to do this because this is the best way to not just ensure winning, but to physically impose your will on a team in such a way that the rest of us have to rank you higher. We have to look at you and go, who in their right mind thinks that that team is not going to bulldoze whomever is in front of them? Michigan's also got a lot going for it, even as it's coming off an 8-win season. They haven't lost to Ohio State since 2019. They've won 2 Big Ten championships. They've won the national championship. All things that Oklahoma is expected to do in the SEC in the very near future, if not this year. For Oklahoma, you lay down a marker. For Michigan, you lay down a marker. That's what this game is about. And because the Week 2 schedule is not nearly as loaded as the Week 1 schedule, we're going to be even more drawn into this game. I think the other headlines are Iowa State. There's a sneaky good one with how badly Oregon might beat up on Oklahoma State. Kentucky, Ole Miss. Maybe you think it's worth watching Texas and San Jose State. I don't know that you do. And then South Florida, Florida. So you can see I'm stretching it there when I say there's some sneaky good ones, but that's for college football fans. If you are a casual, this is the game that you're going to watch. And this is the game you're going to reference. When we go to church on Sunday, this is what we're going to talk about. Somebody's going to get to wear their colors to church, and somebody is going to have to go there with their head down. I can't wait to figure out which one of us that is.